I remember back in the day when they brought me into the WWF, they brought me in as a ringmaster, and they just brought me in as a mechanic and just a guy that could have matches with anybody on the card. And if you'll remember, you were on top back then, and you and me worked a lot back then, and just because you needed an opponent to beat who could give you a good match, and I was that guy. So to the listening audience out there, I cannot tell you how many times Shawn Michaels has kicked me in the mouth, and I was looking up at the lights laying there on the mat. I looked up at the lights so many times, I think I need my retina and my corneas replaced. Thank you, Shawn.
Well, and that's one of the things, it's funny that, I don't think there's ever been a time we've really got to talk about that. I mean, it was, obviously, how do you not? I mean, obviously, the Stone Cold was, was huge, and it's hard not to focus on that. But, one of the things a lot of people don't know is that, when you first came in, you and I were main eventing a lot of, they wouldn't put us in any of the major towns because we hadn't done anything on TV. But in every other place, and I'll tell you, one of the things you did for me, and this isn't blowing smoke, and you remember me commenting on it the first time you said it, which was, we got together and you said, hey man, could I just sort of just, you call it out there and just sort of do whatever. And if you remember, I was like, dude, yes. I mean, anything, I had, at that time, I was, probably wearing more hats than I should have at that time, trying to be a good guy and the champion and all that stuff, and having to general a lot of my own stuff at that time. And to be able to go out there and just not do anything except depend on the guy, again, the old way, I guess, I don't know, I'm assuming, Steve, because it's your show, we can be open and honest.
We are open and honest. Anything flies on this show.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You could just, it was for me, especially, at that time, it was a huge, favor to me, to be able to just have a dude out there calling a match. And, I was thinking about it today. They were very, if you don't mind me saying, they were very Flair Steamboat-ish, our matches then.
Right.
And, again, as much as I would have, liked to have brought that to TV, obviously, we never got that opportunity, but, it was a huge, huge thing for me, at that time to just have a guy that I could go out there and completely relax with and not all of it sort of be on my shoulders to call and to try to get through.
Well, it was a lot of fun for me because, coming from a different territory, I'd been watching you for years and knew, obviously who and what you were, one of the best in the world even at that time. So to go out there and get a chance to wrestle with you, and, this was back in the day before I got dropped on my head, and I was a little bit more wrestling-oriented. I kind of had to modify my style after the pile driver, and back then I was a little bit more of a scientific wrestler, so there was a lot of wrestling that went into those matches, and we really gelled together, we really flowed together and had great chemistry, and we really didn't know each other too well. So those matches were very instrumental for me because I remember one time you and I were wrestling at the Houston Summit. It was sold out, and we just went out there and did our things. And then I remember after that match, Bret the Hitman Hart had watched that match, from one of the doors, and he came up to me and he said, hey, man, I just want you to know that was a hell of a match. He goes, I'll be glad to work with you anytime. And that was just based off a match with you, and there I was as a dumbass ringmaster. So it certainly opened a lot of eyeballs and doors for me.